Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Mark from Burton Bibles, and today we're going to be taking a really close in-depth look at the new Bible from the Bible Society, which is this. And excuse the crinkly sound, this is wrapped in cellophane. I wanted to use a new copy to show you guys properly because my copy is in the house and is getting some heavy use from the family, which is great, of course, but also it has been marked up quite a lot. So I wanted to use a new version to show you, but this is the new family edition from the Bible Society and Youth for Christ. It is another joint venture between those two organisations. We've seen already on the channel the Good News Bible Youth Edition, and the Youth Edition is a great Bible for teens, perhaps even pre-teens, but this is aimed very much at the family. It's a unique Bible. It's got some interesting features and qualities, so we will take a look at this closely on the desk very, very shortly. Now, I did feature an interview with representatives from both the Bible Society and Youth for Christ on the channel here just a few weeks ago during my trip to the Christian Resources exhibition in Surrey. And that was a fantastic day, a fantastic trip, and it was really interesting to sit down with Jack and with Lou and have a good chat about this new Bible and what they're trying to help with, what they're trying to achieve with this new edition. So let's take a good look at it now on the desk and we'll see what it's all about. Okay then, so here we are. We have the new Bible from the Bible Society, the Good News Bible Family Edition. Now, we'll just take this out of the cellophane. As I said in my intro, I wanted to use a brand new edition so you could see it all in its clean, unmarked glory, shall we say, because the first interesting thing I want to point out about this Bible is the cover itself. Now, the cover is made of a sort of plasticky type material, and it's actually a whiteboard surface. And if you take it off, it's actually absolutely huge. It's sort of several feet long. The hardboard jacket, by the way, is exactly the same underneath, but of course I wouldn't recommend colouring this in because it will be rather permanent. But this unwraps, as you can see, and you can basically use this whole cover, whether inside or outside, with dry wipe markers, and as long as you've got a half decent rubber to rub it off, you can actually just colour this in and mark it up, draw things, and it's completely reusable, and in fact it encourages you to do so. It says colour it in, wipe it clean. Now, I have tested that and it works very, very well. I will say that it does take some elbow grease to get it off again, and you might want to pick up one of those cans of spray which helps to clean whiteboards. But apart from that, it's really, really good. And to be honest, if you've got younger people in your family, perhaps young children as young as, I don't know, 2, 3, you can give them this to colour in while you do your daily devotional, your daily reading, whatever it is, whatever phrase or term you use for it, and it really helps to occupy them and keep them quiet whilst you share the scriptures and the reading and the lessons with them. So I do recommend that, and in fact we often take it off and use it to draw pictures about what we are talking about. So you can use it to say, you know, draw pictures of what you think love looks like. Draw me some pictures of kindness. Draw me a picture of the Apostle Paul preaching, or draw me a picture of John the Baptist baptizing. Things like that. You can really kind of help children to focus on what you're trying to get across by getting them to get involved and draw something or colour something. So I really do appreciate the innovation that they've shown with this design. Now, once we get into the Bible, it's all very simply and clearly and beautifully laid out. This is a Bible that is aimed at families, young families, to help them to read the Bible and to get something out of it. That is what this Bible has been designed for, to really take away something of the stigma of reading the Bible, if you like, and it being perhaps boring or uninteresting or unengaging. This is really designed to help families to make it easy for them to have a healthy, engaging time around the Word of God. And it says as much in the beginning of this Bible. There's a list of the books of the Bible as well. What is the Bible? These are some really great graphics. I will say that the Bible Society and Youth for Christ, both with the Youth Bible and this Bible, they've been produced in a very similar sort of style. And some of the sort of infographics and designs in here, the graphic design is absolutely top-notch. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And so we have a bit about how did the Bible get to be the Bible. We have a timeline of the Bible story, and this is fantastic stuff because, you know, this is the sort of thing that could be presented in any number of ways. But I really like the way that they've done this, and they've made it sort of as easy as possible to read and to get a feel for the timeline of the Bible. And so here we have the Saviour and coming into the New Testament times. We have it. And there's a bit about our family. You can draw in there. It says here, our family summed up in one sentence. I thought that was interesting. I'm sure there'd be some varied sentences that might come into your mind depending on who's answering as well. But yeah, it's a lovely thing to see. It's even got timeline of our life together as a family so far. I think these are nice little touches just to help people get into this book and to start using it. But we will get into the text of the Bible shortly, but what we should point out from the outset is that this Bible will help you think about the passage or think about the Bible using 5 different methods represented by this symbology that you'll see throughout the Bible. Now, it's all very simple, it's all very straightforward, so don't worry about it. It says here with a light bulb, think. And you'll see that symbol next to a passage. For example, there's a couple of examples here. And it will be ways to reflect quietly on what you've read. So, for example, here at Joshua 19, it says, God is always with us, just as he promised Joshua on the edge of the promised land. What does it mean to you to know that God is with you absolutely everywhere that you go? So, a fantastic question for children and families to answer together, to reflect on what they've read and to think about it. But there'll also be chat boxes, which is represented by this speech bubble, and that is generating discussion amongst yourselves, and it's basically asking you to come up with ideas and questions to talk through together, and we'll see examples of that as we go. So there's opportunities to discuss. Then there's this symbol here, which is a bit like the @ symbol, and it means do. So suggestions for activities and active responses, and we actually have an example of that here where it says, as a family, ask each other what is the one thing that you know to do and could do to worship and honour God. Wow, well that's a fantastic thing to think about. And it also says, take an hour together over the next few days to spend time doing those things. So that's, again, a great thing to stimulate action, because the Bible, you know, in fact we read in the Bible itself, don't we, that we're supposed to be doers of the word and not just hearers only. So it's all very well just listening to the Bible being read, but of course we want to generate action and reaction having read the scriptures together. So that's really good to have those do ones. And then there's create, which is basically something to colour, draw or to make, and we'll see that as we go through the book. There is lots of opportunities in this Bible to colour something in, to draw something, to doodle something, to sketch something, and we'll see that in this Bible. So there's really something for everybody and for every age and for every ability, I think, when using this Bible. And then we'll also have this symbol, watch, which looks a bit like the sort of play symbol, and it is links to videos to view together as a family. So there are quite a lot of videos that you can have a look at, and of course they're all accessed free on your smartphone or tablet or whatever it is you're using. I'll probably drop a link to some of the resources mentioned in this video in the description, so do check that out. But I think it's fantastic that this is a published and a printed item, but it's also linked to materials which can be ever changing, ever renewing, lots of content there that will be refreshed and made available just by hitting the website. So don't just think that it's only limited to what we've got printed here. There's lots and lots of resources for people. So lots of good introductory stuff here. There's also these little things to check out. There's check it out, there's key verses, family blessing. So there's some prayers that are listed in here which again could be used by family. It's always nice to have a prompt, I think. Sometimes a lot of onus, if you like, and responsibility is placed upon parents. And as Jack and Lou made it clear to me, you know, we're not called to be experts in the Bible or experts in dealing with young people or young person's work. So don't feel like you have to, like you don't feel qualified to do the activities in this book. But what Jack did say to me is, but we are experts in our own family. We are experts in our own children. We know what makes them tick. We know what they like. We know what they don't like. And so with the resources here, there's always going to be something that we know one of them is going to be able to do, or one of them's going to like, or what they're going to prefer. So there's a big breadth of activities and interactions in this edition which you can make use of on a day-to-day basis. We've got a list of heroes, of mile markers, the weird and wonderful. There's a map of Jesus' ministry, and there's of course some materials about the Lord Jesus, which are great to see again. And there's making your own Bible journey here, which you know, you could definitely make use of that to chart your journey through the scriptures together as a family. But when we get to the text, we'll start taking a look at this. Every book does have an introduction, which I think is great to see. This is the introduction for the book of Genesis, and at the beginning of each book as well, there'll be a timeline, so you can see where that book slots into the timeline. So, for example, by the time we get to Exodus rather, we notice that we've moved on in time, and we'll see 1500 BC and the fact that Joseph comes on, and then we have the Exodus from Egypt and Moses, and the story develops and moves on. So it's really great to chart that where you are in the timeline as you move between the books of the Bible. So each book comes with these 4 little things as well that, of course, are good to see. Check it out, the key verse of the book, the family blessing for the book, and the big question, which is something to really prompt wider discussion and actions from reading this book. But then we come to the text, and of course we'll see straight away that this Bible is laid out completely differently to any other Bible that we've seen. Now, it did remind me a little of the Transetto from Cambridge, but it differs from the Transetto in that the text isn't all facing the one way. It's actually facing outwards always. So the text on this page is facing, you would read it down like this, and the text on this page you would read down like that as well. So it might seem a bit confusing at first, but it does all make sense, because the idea is that you would gather as a family around a table or on the floor or however it is, and because of course you're around it, you would have people on this side who could read passages here, and people on the other side who could read passages there. And of course you have the very wide margins as well to make use of. Those margins are over 4 inches, so you've got plenty of space on the side of the margins to do these doodle activities or drawing activities. And I've used this space time and time again with my family, so that they can be doing something. And you know, if we're reading in the New Testament and we're reading about grace or something like that, then I'll ask them to write what they think grace is, or write how we know God's grace in our lives. There's all sorts of little things that you could think of to stimulate thought, and it's interesting to see what they come up with in those margins. Now, Genesis 1, there is a little create activity here, and it says, get each member of your household to draw an element of creation. talk about something you will do together to look after the environment this week. So this is simple things that can get a family thinking about God's creation. Okay, so if we go over the page, we'll see that there is a chat item here, and you can chat through a number of questions to do with the story of Cain and Abel. So it says here, why might God have rejected Cain's gift? How might we compare ourselves to others in our family? And then how might God want us to respond to these feelings? So there's some quite deep questions in here, but again, it's looking for the children to analyse what they've been reading about, how it affects them, and there's a lot to unpack there. Other of the items are a bit more sort of fun and light, I suppose. Here's a light bulb one, which is more of a thinking one, which it says, Methuselah is the oldest man in the Bible at 969 years old. How do you think it would feel to live that long? So there's some more sort of fun items for the children to think about as well. And as we go through, we'll see examples of the doing ones, where it says, make a rainbow together using different coloured paints and your fingerprints on a piece of paper. What might God's promise tell us about himself and his relationship to us and the world? Now, of course, there's some deep things there that would relate across to the New Testament as well, about judgment, about how sin must be punished, how sin must be judged, but also about God's salvation and God's grace. So there's lots of things that is being explored here, even in this early part of the Bible. So, we're not going to go through everything, but one thing I would point out is these handy little things that you get in the top corners of each page of this Bible, where it is basically telling you what book you're in and what books follow it and what books are before it. So obviously there's nothing preceding Genesis, but we have Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua following it. And if we go through to more like the middle of the Bible, we'll see that Job has Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song, Solomon, Isaiah, and then previous to Job is Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. So it's really good because, a lot of families might not know all the books of the Bible and might not be able to skip between books like an agile mountain goat or something. It's really helpful, and I think that's a buzzword of this Bible. Definitely, it is a helpful Bible which is trying to help families with their daily devotions. So I can't say enough good things about the Bible, really. Between the Testaments, there is a few things here. 400 years of waiting, and that's something that you can colour in here as well. I will say this as well, that I believe a lot of these pages that you're being asked to colour in and things like that can be downloaded as additional pages from the website. Again, I'll leave links to these resources in the description. So if you're worried about ruining some pages, or you'd like to practice, or you'd like to pass it around as a sort of distributable resource, you can do that by hitting the website and downloading them. So again, here's another book introduction for Matthew. You have the timeline here. You have a little simple book explanation, and then we have the four symbols, which are check it out, the key verse, the family blessing, and the big question of this particular book. So I'll just show you what's in the back as well, because there's a few interesting items in the back. We have a list, an index of the interactions on cardstock paper. So here's a list of all of the do ones, the create ones, the play ones. So this is the online video materials that you can watch. And so all of them are listed in the back should you refer to that. And there's a nice map of the ancient Middle East and Israel and Paul's missionary journeys as well. And then we have the publishing information, which isn't in the front, where, of course, it might be a bit confusing. It's at the back, so people who want to refer to it, there's a little bit about Youth for Christ, a little bit about the Bible Society, and then we'll see that this is a 2021 Bible, the Good News Bible, the Family Edition, etc., etc. So, yeah, there we have it. A little whistle-stop tour, perhaps, a little overview of the Good News Family Bible. Well, I can, having had a look through it, having used it, I can just encourage you to go out and pick one up. It's not a lot of money. This retails for £35. £35 well spent, in my opinion. Not a lot of money, and this could really help a young family to gather around the Word of God, to read it and to be provoked by it, to be encouraged by it, to be prompted by it, to think more deeply and to engage with it more closely, and to be switched on when we're doing the family readings and the family devotions, because that's what you want. You want the kids to be engaged, you want them to be interested, and there's so many different things that of helps that you get with this Bible which could really help you do that. And I've been using it and I found it to be a great blessing. So it has if there is one, it has the Burton Bible seal of approval. It's just an awesome Bible, and a really encouraging thing to have in your home. And ours has been well used. The cover has been done time and time again, and we've just started to write in it as well, and to draw in it and to write in it, and it's just a fantastic way of doing of your daily devotionals, for sure. So I hope you found that interesting. It is something a bit different. I do have a couple of copies to give away here, and I'll make details available soon on the channel of how you can get hold of one of these. I want them to go to families in the UK, of whom this can be a blessing and a benefit to. I do know one family already that I'll be passing one on to, and I think it will really help them. But I will have 2 Bibles to give away. So stay tuned to the channel for that, and I'll put some details up soon. So as always, I'll put some links in the description to where you can get one of these, and it will be an Amazon link, and again you can buy one at no extra cost yourself and support the channel and what we do at Burton Bibles. But also there'll be some additional resource links that I'll put in the description as well for you guys to check out. So if you like this video, please do give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe as well, and to share the content here so we can reach as many as possible. So take care, God bless, and we'll catch up on another video soon. Bye-bye.